on Family Matters.
There's been some times where I've said no, you can't see the kids because he's been drinking or taking drugs.
Right. In order to be able to see the kids, it meant that the children needed to be safe.
Yeah.
And drinking and taking drugs is not creating a safe environment for the kids.
No, it's not.
Does it seem fair to use his own children against him if he makes a decision to not be with you?
No, not
Is that
at all.
fair?
No.
Do you love Kate? Do you want the relationship, or are you in a place where you're not too sure?
Zach's 5 and is a complete nightmare.
Ow! No, that hurt!
Kicking me, punching me. It's just surviving. You know, this is not a life.
Are you lonely?
It's just a battleground from the time they get up to the time we go to bed.
It's the behaviour that we're seeing right now, because
It's
Donna's
like-
at fault for what she's not doing.
I think she rewards them. You wouldn't give a dog a bone if it bit you.
Ask yourself those questions. What kind of a mum am I going to be to my children? What kind of an example am I going to be to them? Because then you have to live up to that example. Welcome to the show. My first family is Carl and Kate, who are coming on to the show in a desperate bid to save their relationship. Kate and Carl were only teenagers when they had their eldest daughter, Saskia. Kate says that because of this, Carl got cold feet and was in and out of her life for the first 2 years. Kate and Carl have since gone on to have 2 more children, but say that the past is very much in the present, and if they don't get help, then they will split up and the family will fall apart.
Carl was around pretty much all of my pregnancy, apart from the end. She was about 4 months old when he disappeared.
Could have dealt with it better, I think.
We didn't see him for quite a while.
I think she does resent me.
Really?
Just because the fact I wasn't there when she was younger.
Saskia, we do clash sometimes because she's quite naughty.
Don't talk when you've got food in your mouth.
Saskia doesn't like me and Kate cuddling. That's a big no.
Does Mummy not allowed to kiss Daddy? Yeah.
What if I snuggle into Daddy like that?
Oh, Daddy.
The way Saskia sees it is, Mummy's mine. You ain't coming here and taking my mummy off me. If we're kissing, she'll walk over and slap me or something. She doesn't like bedtime. You are tired, honey. She likes to sleep in Mummy's bed.
Instead of fighting with her, I give in. So Carl sleeps on the sofa.
Welcome, the pair of you. So where are we right now with respect to our relationship? I mean, before we even get to the kids, what's going on here?
Struggling, massively. I think there's a lot of trust issues.
Right.
Onto a hole, like a brick wall.
Take me back, like, when did you first meet? How old were you?
7 years ago.
I was 13, Kate was 14.
Really young.
Oh, 13 and 14?
Yeah.
Oh, my word, OK. And, well, take me from there.
Well, we met each other and
Yeah.
I was living at my stepdad's and Kate used to come stay. Then I left my stepdad's and moved in with Kate and her mum.
So when did you move in? When did you move in to?
I think I was about 14.
OK, so you were 15 when you got pregnant, or?
No, I was 16.
You were 16 when you got
Yeah.
pregnant. OK,
then-
so young.
Yeah,
Really young.
Yeah, it was a shock. Massive.
Yeah,
Scary
Must
one.
have been. But what was that like? A lot of fear?
Yeah, because we got told that we could never have kids, so it was kind of like we didn't expect.
When did you get told that?
I was young, I had quite a few operations.
Right, OK.
And got told that.
Now take me to the point where baby's here.
I got cold feet and I got scared, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, I was absolutely petrified. Like, it was obviously the biggest thing in my life.
But what did you get scared of?
Everything. Like, I mean, that was it. Like, my future was going to revolve around this child now. And I was really selfish at that point. You know, everything had to revolve around me. And I don't know. I got really scared. Like, how am I going to cope? Like, what? You know, I didn't have no prospects in life at that point. I didn't have a job. I didn't have my own place. I wasn't ready
got really
for a
cold
child.
feet.
Yeah, basically.
Well, let's go to the tape. Let's watch some more.
I think I resent him for not being there for when Saskia was younger.
When I come back, Kate did make it pretty hard.
I see him with our other 2 children and with Saskia.
You've gone all blue.
You can tell there's a difference.
Mummy and Daddy want cuddles for a bit. It doesn't help when me and Kate argue. You know, Kate brings it up, oh, you weren't there for however long. I've done it all by myself, blah, blah, blah. It hurts. It hurts a lot because I've got to live with it.
She wouldn't have a fear of people leaving if it wasn't for what you done. That's why we're all in this situation, is because you kept on coming back, going. You're like a yo-yo.
Okay. Fine.
That tape obviously still touches a raw nerve with yourself. You know, emotionally, what were you feeling with respects to Carl just getting cold feet and not wanting to be present?
Hurt, disappointment, everything's mixed into one, because my real dad left when I was younger. So that was kind of one thing I never, ever wanted from my children.
So did it trigger stuff? Did it make you feel like, you know, my dad left and I didn't have a father figure?
It triggered a lot. It was the fear of losing him for myself, but not also for myself, for my child, that meant everything to me, and I couldn't understand the reasons of why no one else would feel the same about her as what I did, when they're supposed to be her parent as well.
Right.
You know how it felt for me when my dad left, the same as when your dad left. And that hurt even more, that you could feel that pain and know how much it hurt, and then do that to Saskia and me again. But
At the same time, yeah, okay, I done it because I didn't know what I was expecting, but in the last 2-3 years, and you say, that's it, if you walk out, you're not having anything to do with the kids, you know, when do I ever walk out the door?
Not for a while, you haven't.
Exactly, Kate, and that's because I know what the pain that it caused. I know what it mentally it does to the kids, as we've both experienced it before. But at the same time, you're putting me in that position where you're then, okay, it's not mentally messing up the kids, but me, it's mentally messing up, and you as well. Do you understand that?
Yeah, but then you've got to see it from my point of view, where I've got to protect the children, and for you to go and then come back and then go again, it's just, I've got to put that stop to so much pain.
Now, are we talking about the kids, or are we talking about your relationship? Because...
A bit of both, really.
I don't think there's any clarity there, is there?
It's a big circle.
Does it seem fair to hold a man in a corner to use his own children against him if he makes a decision to not be with you, to use the kids as a tool that he'll never be able to see them if he doesn't choose to be in a relationship with you?
No, not
Is that
at all.
fair?
No.
But it is what you did, though, isn't it? It's what I'm hearing.
For the right reasons.
But I don't think there is a right reason. That, you
The
know,
way he was back then.
was he reckless?
Yeah.
To the point that it got him into trouble?
Yeah. Big trouble.
So what happened?
It was like it shut off and it was a different person. To the person that I met 7 years ago, to what I've seen bits of, it's completely different.
What was you reckless to the point that your children would have been unsafe for you to visit them and to see them?
No, I'd never cause... No, OK, I'd never cause harm to the kids, you know that.
No, I wouldn't. I know you wouldn't cause harm to the children. It's what you were doing.
What my actions... Well, what I was going through at the time, I got in with some pretty nasty, dodgy
taking
people.
Drugs?
Yeah, I was, at the time. Okay. But at the same time, it was because when we split up and stuff and I haven't been able to see the kids, and she said, you're not seeing the kids, then I have gone down that path and I started drinking and taking drugs.
We can't blame the kids for making a grown man's decision to take drugs or to drink.
No, it's not. That's not. That was fully in my hands.
In order to be able to see the kids, it meant that the children needed to be safe.
Yeah.
And drinking and taking drugs is not creating a safe environment for the kids.
No, it's not. Had I known that I was able to see the kids, my decisions would have been different. I would have took a different approach to how I was behaving, and at that point I had nothing to lose. I lost my kids. That was it. I didn't have the best
just to make some clarity here, did you tell him he couldn't see the kids, and then when you told him that, he went on the binge drinking and the drugs, or was he binge drinking and taking drugs, and because of that you told him he couldn't see the kids? There's really quite a black and white question.
There's been some times where I've said, no, you can't see the kids, and then there's others because he's been drinking or taking drugs.
Right, so there were times that you used it against him, and there were times that you saw that. Oh, thank you for your honesty. OK.
Still to come on Family Matters.
It boils down to the trust. You need to trust each other.
But trust can't be given unless there's commitment. Unless two people are truly at the same party and they both want it and they're both in. Do you love Kate? Do you want the relationship, or are you in a place where you're not too sure? So, Kate, I'd like to meet your mum, Jude. So let's take a look at some tape.
I do feel that if there wasn't a bit of outside help, that Carl will come to the end of his tether and think enough is enough, that Kate's not allowing him to have a little bit more control with the children, a little bit more control with Saskia.
Carl, you're just going back on what I said.
He just needs pointing in the right direction to be able to gain Kate's trust, to be able to allow her to let go of the bond that she's got with Saskia.
Where are you going? Saskia! Sat!
They've got a duo at the moment and they need to make that a trio and then involve the other two children. There's not so much of an issue with Rochelle and Thea Rose. He needs to have more of an input. They're three beautiful children and they need their mummy and their daddy.
Mummy!
I want them to have some help where they can both understand each other a little bit more, and they need to find each other again.
Welcome.
Oh.
Nice to meet you.
And you?
Give me a take on all of this.
They were very much in love, and I can still see that that's there. And it would be really nice if they could both remember that time. And I think there's a lot there if they can sort out their differences. Carl needs to realise that if he's going to do something, that he does that and doesn't let Kate down. And then Kate needs to realise that Carl can do it and she hasn't got to put blockages in the way. Or she's got to accept that, you know, he's not going to hurt Saskia. She's going to be fine. He might...
Define what you mean by the word blockages. I mean, what's your daughter really doing?
Protecting her daughter.
I was overprotective from the minute I fell pregnant. Right. Honestly, I wouldn't let, when she was born, I wouldn't let anybody near her. No one was allowed to pick her up. Carl wasn't allowed to push the buggy.
I think that's more because of what Kate's been through. I think she's felt deserted a lot, and this little thing wasn't going to desert her. She was going to love Kate back as much as Kate loved her.
Well, it is what you said. I mean, when I first met you, you said, you know, the thought of having a baby was lovely and this baby was going to love me.
Yeah.
Which I found rather interesting.
Yeah.
You know, to actually hear rather than, and we were going to love our baby. That it was, for you, this child was a symbol of you receiving unconditional love, which obviously you'd felt that you hadn't received. I mean, why have you felt that way?
Because my dad was the everything.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I haven't seen him, I think, since I was four. I think that's my problem, is because of what he done, I just expect everybody else, especially men, to do the exact same thing.
So you felt protective over your child in the fact that you were going to try and be everyone?
Yeah.
To your child, you were going to be everything?
Yeah, trying to...
So what was that like for yourself?
Hard.
I mean, yeah, hard's an understatement, right? No feeding, baby, no changing, no bonding for yourself, no bonding.
At that point, I could understand it. Like, Kate was a new mum. You know, it was her first child. You know, I just thought it was what all mothers do, to be honest. Yeah, it did feel a little bit pushed out at the same time, but a lot of that was my jealousy. You know, I'd been centre of attention for so long. All of a sudden, a baby come along, and that's it. Like, I'm pushed out of the picture. So a lot of it was jealousy, but at the same time, I can see where it come from and why. But yeah, no, it's hurt me more in the long term than what it has than what it did in the short term.
So are they together?
Yes. I think they're magnetised. I don't think they'll ever be apart. When they're a team, they are absolutely brilliant parents. If Kate can understand and if Carl can be a bit more trustworthy and a bit more honest, and I'm going out for an hour and only be an hour, not 4.
But you kind of never been off, really, if you've been living under the same roof. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to go back to some tape that we've seen already.
She wouldn't have a fear of people leaving if it wasn't for what you done. That's why we're all in this situation, is because you kept on coming back, going. You're like a yo-yo.
Okay. Fine.
Do you believe that? That piece of tape that was seen there? Do you think your daughter feels any of that?
I don't, because I feel at the time Sass was 7 months old. You know, she didn't even know who she was herself. So in some ways, I think she wouldn't know had she not be reminded every time me and Kate argue. You know, when Kate brings it up, I don't think she would have. Well, I can't remember when I was 7 months old.
Is she reminded by you, Saskia?
Yeah. Not directly, but if I'm talking to Carl,
if we're arguing,
it gets brought up.
What do you say? If you're arguing in front of the little one, what do you say so that she can hear that?
It's not that so that she can hear it, it's just because I know it hurts him.
Yeah, but she does hear it, right?
Of course she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what does she hear?
Me saying to him, probably the main one, is that you left when she was a baby, with me dealing with everything, because she was in and out of hospital, and it was really hard work, and I dealt with most of that with my mum, not as a couple, and that's what gets chucked back quite a lot.
I'm just failing to understand how you can both move forward if you keep moving back.
That's why we've got the problems, because we can't move. We can't forget about the past, neither of us. It gets brought up.
There is no way that you will ever move forward and continue to take steps forward if you use it as ammunition, which is, you know, an immature fashion, in order to just sort of dig holes in each other. That's why you'd be on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. It's not possible. It just isn't possible.
That's the reason why Kate phoned the show, so that they could find a way forward with some help, without an interfering mother-in-law scenario.
Right.
And there are occasions when Kate's giving a little bit and Carl's doing his bit, and then something will happen that will just spark the whole thing off again. And it boils down to the trust. You need to trust each other and understand that.
That's what it all comes down to.
It comes down to a lot of trust.
But trust can't be given unless there's commitment. Unless two people are truly at the same party and they both want it and they're both in, can commitment not happen until then?
They do want it. I think it's finding a way forward to get it. Obviously, with 3 small children that do have health issues, they need time together.
But it is separate. What I'm trying to say is this: the on-off is not healthy for either of yourselves or the kids.
No.
So let's just take one thing at a time. Your relationship. In order for you to move forward, you've both really got to want the relationship. You've both really got to want it.
That's why.
You know, do you love Kate? Do you want the relationship, or are you in a place where you're not too sure? I mean, either way, it's not. It doesn't.
I want it.
It's about what you feel.
I do want it, but it's just got to the end where the patience has gone in order to make it work, if that makes sense. Like, we've tried so many times to move forward and get on with it, and every time it's failed. So it's more, I want it to work, of course. I'd be more than happy to spend the rest of my life with Kate, but it's just...
You're telling me that you do want it, but the patience is gone. If you really want it, you'll stretch that patience and you'll start clean from here, moving forward with what you need. The same for yourself, if you really want it. The truth of the matter is, though, you've got to stop throwing. You've got to stop throwing at Carl what he wasn't there for. The reality is, he was. He's not making any excuses for it. It was a guy that didn't know what he wanted. It scared him. And you are going to create. You're going to create the situation that you fear the most. And that's not having a father in your life. You will create that for your own children if you're going to keep punishing him for something that at that time hurt you. I'm not taking that away from you. But if you're going to keep punishing him with that, you'll push him away because you're keeping him in the debt bank. You're keeping him there. It's like he can never do anything to show you that he wants to be in it.
He needs to try a bit harder as well.
But if he takes one step forward and you're throwing it in his face, then it's no good. When it comes to the children, you know, your commitment in being able to raise these children on the same page is going to be equally important. When I see you with your little girl, and I know how protective you are over her, the back and forth with wanting to be in with the cuddles, that's a lovely sign of her wanting to coming together as a family. Okay, she does want that coming together. Mummy, Daddy, we're a unit all together. But I've got to ask you to have some faith in Carl, which means that you've got to be able to step up and show Kate that you can take care of the children and you can do things for them when you're in the house that allows her to feel that she can let go. But while, again, you push him away and you keep her like this precious gem, you're not letting him in. And what you've done here is created separation anxiety. The smothering makes her feel anxious. There's a separation anxiety there. She can't give you the love you lost with your dad, and she can't give you the love you feel you lost when you felt betrayed by Carl. She can give you unconditional love as the little girl that she is, your daughter. And that's what you need to understand. You know? What's upset you, love? What's upset you? Just take a tissue.
Okay. Just how much I've been through with her, and I'm being told that she's got a week to live. She's been really poorly in hospital.
I think the stepping back is frightening Kate as well.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be have to be a serious conscious decision.
You've got to allow everybody else who is family to be able to come in and take that weight from you, because you put an enormous amount on you, and in the end you end up pushing everyone away.
That's what I've done.
Where do we go from here, you guys?
I'm prepared to do anything. I have been for years. I just haven't been able to put that into practice.
Gave you chances before and you've just completely chucked it in my face, basically, and that's why we just gone back.
So we need to make a decision of where we go moving forward.
I know, I need to give him more and he needs to give more. We both need to give, because I need to give him more chances with Sass, but he needs to not give up.
Correct.
And work at it.
But you need to be willing to want to do that. You can't play tennis on your own. You've got to be willing to do that.
I am.
You're willing to do that?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not coming home with you, so it's not me that's doing that. You need to tell it to this young man here. If you're going to make that commitment to each other, then I think you should say that while you're here and let that be a fact, and then stop talking the talk and on and off and on and off and just start walking the walk.
I want to.
Are you prepared to do that?
Yeah.
Are you prepared to do that?
Still to come on Family Matters.
Are you lonely?
It's just a battleground from the time they get up to the time they go to bed.
It's the behaviour that we're seeing right now, because Donna's at fault for what she's not doing.
I think she rewards him. You wouldn't give a dog a bone if it bit you.
Welcome back. My next guest, Angie, says her sister Donna has lost control of her 5-year-old son, Zach, who will never take no for an answer. She says every day is a constant battle between the two of them, watching Zach be disrespectful towards his mother.
I'm Donna, I live with 3 children, Rhiannon, Cameron and Zach. Zach, who's my youngest, is 5 and is a complete nightmare.
Ow, no, that hurt! No.
Cameron has trashed the room. Zach has tried to break a window. He'll kick doors. Anything that's in the kitchen he will throw. Kicking me, punching me, swearing at me.
No.
Zach and Cameron will call me and tell me that they want me dead.
Shut your mouth!
My name's Angie. Donna's my sister. She's got 3 children and she's bringing them up all on her own.
Yes, Angie supports me, but she's got her own life.
There's no rights, no wrongs, no rules, bedtimes, tea times. She just gives in.
Stairs, dinner, move.
Don't you start.
I'm not hungry.
Go and get your dinner.
Yeah.
Like parent, you can stay there.
And Angie doesn't agree with the way I am with them. She wouldn't give in.
No should mean no, but with Donna, no means you're going to get it anyway.
But things can't get any worse.
She can't cope.
But it is impossible to carry on like this. It's just surviving. I'm just surviving. No, this is not a life.
Hi, welcome, ladies. Let's talk about your family. You're a single mum?
Yeah.
OK, so just set me up for the day, what you do, how it is with the kids.
It's just a complete nightmare, getting them up. In the morning, they're always tired to go to school. Zach, my youngest, he's pretty much, he'll tell me whether he's going to school that day or not. I do whatever I can to try and get him to school. I mean, I've had him physically punching me, pulling my hair, swearing at me, calling me names. I had to have the taxi driver get out of the taxi and run into the school to say that I need help with getting him into school.
And what's the rest of your day like? I mean, you know, he'll say he doesn't want to go to school, so he'll fight you to get there.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine if they're all at school, I'll get on and do my own thing, but when they're at home, I know I've got to give in to him.
What do you see?
It's just a battleground. From the time they get up to the time they go to bed. If you don't get no time, you can't even phone her up and have a conversation because you've got the kids in the background. They don't want to know her, but as soon as she's on the phone, someone turns up, the kids just want to know. And it's, I want. She says, no, I'll get you that in a minute, and then that's when the kids start kicking off. I mean, they've had the tellies on the floor, the games on the floor, the bedrooms have been trashed, I've been kicked and punched. I think Donna's too soft. If she says they're not going to have something...
Is it Donna's fault? It's the behaviour that we're seeing right now, because Donna's at fault for what she's not doing.
I think she rewards them. You wouldn't give a dog a bone if it bit you. But she'll say, you're not doing this, you're grounded, blah, 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 but it doesn't... She don't continue with it.
Is that true?
Stick to her guns.
No, with the older ones, I can continue with the grounding because they're the ones that go out. But Zach doesn't go out, so I can't find anything to punish him with other than putting him to his room, which ends up getting trashed.
Let's take a look at some tape here, please.
It's got worse in, the past year. If I don't give in to him, he'll kick me.
Oh, God!
Scream. Throw himself on the floor. I do want to know how to stop it. I mean, I've restrained him. But that doesn't help. What else do you want me to do? You know, he's going to kick off, he's going to run off in the middle of the road.
The way they push and they shove and all that, it's a wonder they don't get hurt at all. It's the shouting. I mean, that's all you get, is the shouting. Donna's shouting at the kids to tell the kids what to do.
Now, no, you're not funny. And you hurt my arm.
The kids are shouting back at Donna, they're swearing at Donna.
What's DVD then? Shut your mouth!
I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do.
So I see, obviously, you're holding him by the wall. You know, you've got him pinned up by the wall there.
Yeah.
And you're doing that for what purpose?
He wanted to go back to the school.
Yeah.
And I said, but the gates were shut.
Yeah.
But he wanted me to walk back the other way and walk all the long way round it.
For what reason?
I don't know.
So he just wanted to control
Yeah,
the way that where you were
I
going.
went home.
He wanted to
Yeah.
control that. And what other things does he want to control all the time?
Everything, my life.
You feel like he's trying to control your life?
Yeah.
He's trying to control the things that you do?
Yeah.
What does he try and stop you from doing that you want to do in your life?
I mean, if I want to go out, sort of like for an evening, like with my sister, I mean, I can't. I mean, she stayed with me a couple of weeks ago, and I said, well, can you just stay here with Auntie Ange, and I'm just going to go run round the shop. He
don't want you to do that?
No. He comes with me, otherwise I don't go round the shop.
You've got to actually grab hold of him to let her out the door.
So he wants everything his way, and he gets everything his way. Why does he get everything his way?
Well, the reason why she lets him get away with it is because she don't like the kicking, the punching.
Peaceful life.
But it don't work.
So I'll give in.
I think that it needs a bit more authority around the house. They need to be told they need the rules of the house and to stick by the rules.
So your kids are fine?
My kids are fine.
Right, so why are your kids fine?
Because
how come your sister's got kids that are just like punching and kicking her, but your kids came out all right? Why did your kids come out all right?
Because I think I'm a bit firmer and a bit stronger than what Donna is.
So you say that you're more firmer with your kids, you've got rules and boundaries for them.
Yeah, well, my kids will stick by them rules at our house.
Why? Why do they stick by those rules?
Like I say, I think I'm a bit more firmer with him. I mean, I could have Zach all weekend, and he's brilliant. He likes to do a little bit of hoovering, he'd want to do a bit of dusting and stuff like that, but I asked him to do anything at her house, and you got no chance.
I would love you both to watch this tape because I had a chance to meet your kids. So just take a look at this. So Mum's come down with the whole family because she just wants my advice. She wants my advice to be able to be a great mum so she can understand more. What do you think Mum could do with my help with?
Make us gooder.
Make you gooder? What's wrong with your behaviour then?
Bad.
Your behaviour's bad? Who tells you your behaviour's bad?
Mum.
Mum, well, what do you do then?
Kick, punch, trash my room up.
You trash your room up? Why'd you do that then?
I get annoyed.
You're obviously the oldest here, so what are you all arguing about? Like, do you just all wind each other up? Like, what's all the argument happening for?
I don't argue a lot with them, but it's them two that argue the most.
Right.
Argue over little things. Normally me and you a lot. No, it's not. I don't really speak to anyone because I'm always on my phone.
You're always on your phone?
Just sit upstairs.
Yeah. So, what do you guys do with Mum then? What kind of things do you get up to?
Not a lot.
No? Not much. Is that during the school week or is that during the weekends?
We don't do anything really.
What would you like to do?
More places and do more stuff.
So hands up if you get bored at home. Hands up if you get like really bored at home, you don't even know what to do with yourself. Now one of you runs off. Who runs off? Right there, did you see that? They were just like, it's him! The little runner. So I'm gonna go then and go and have a chat with your mum and catch up with her. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. So you've heard your kids. What do they need from you?
My attention.
So let's talk about why that's not happening.
Still to come on Family Matters.
Ask yourself those questions. What kind of a mum am I going to be to my children? What kind of an example am I going to be to them? Because then you have to live up to that example. Let's talk about your sister. Not your sister as a parent, let's just talk about your sister.
She's lost all confidence in herself, for one.
Right.
She hasn't got any lack of it, none of it at all. She's never got no quality time. If she goes to bed, the kids go in their bed with her. Night time, the kids sleep in her bed.
Are you lonely?
There's no distance.
Are you lonely? Can I ask you... This is my love. I'll ask you a question. Have you struggled with relationships being in and out, in and out?
I haven't had one since Zach's dead. I'm lonely about the kids. They come first.
You know, the behaviour that you're continuing to tolerate, where you choose not to do the right thing, and you do know what the right thing is because you have an example by watching your sister, leads you creating a false sense of them needing you. Because that needing you in that capacity makes you feel what you're missing. Why is it that something as simple as you just popping around to the shops, when Zach's saying no, 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 why is it that there has to be this drawn-out drama before you leave? Why isn't there this confident, I'm going off to shops and I'll see you afterwards?
The only time she's apart from the kids is when the kids are at school. But other than that, there's no space indoors. She don't get her own space in her room because the kids are always in it. She'll have a bath, the kids are in the bathroom as well. There's no away time.
But you want that. You say you don't want it, but you're creating that. Let's go to tape, please.
Something has got to be done to help her through what she's going through. But if this don't work, I don't know. And I always say to her, like, oh, do you fancy coming out? She can't go out because the kids won't even let her go out. She can't have a boyfriend because they don't want her to have one.
No man could put up with the children the way they are. And I've been single for a long time. If Joe could help just a little bit, just so that I could have a little bit of me back. It hurts me when they lash out at me, when they swear at me, when they gang up on me. It's really hurtful because I'm trying to do the best for them.
But I've seen her in tears loads of times, and I've seen her at her worst, where she just wants to up and leave the kids, leave the house.
Yeah, that's how I feel, that people see me as a bad mum.
I don't think it's about being a bad mum. I think it's about you just recognising why you behave the way you do. And I guess that's why you're here, to be able to identify that. And in order to do that, it means you have to look at yourself a little bit. You know, you have to be able to recognise the behaviour patterns and the way that you function and what's being projected onto the children. You've put your children in that place of being able to control you and to make the rules up so that you're left feeling the same way that you've been feeling for quite a few years, to be honest with you. Let me show you something. You're an amazing mum to your kids because you do what for them?
Always there for them. I've taken them on holidays, taken them out, brought them up properly, as to my knowledge.
Explain that. My mum's brought me up properly because she does this with us. Tell me, fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
Because
what you do for them.
What is it you do for them?
We've been on holidays when they was younger, making their little party things, Easter bonnets and stuff like that, just being there for your kids. And doing, sometimes you don't want to do something, take them to the park, have a game of football with them. You don't necessarily have to like it, just do it.
See, you got to ask yourself this.
Yeah, it's the confidence to take them anywhere, like out of the house.
It is. No, it is.
Once I've got the confidence to do that, then I can take them to the seafront. I can take them to the park.
Correct. So we've got this cycle, okay? In order to have confidence, that means I can then take the kids to the park. I'm going to ask you to question what kind of mum that you want to be, okay? And the easiest way to do that is to be able to look at your kids and think to yourself, what kind of a mum am I to these children? What do I want my children to be able to say?
They want to be confident, don't they? I want to be confident with them. And I want to show them to be confident.
Yeah, you want them to be raised feeling confident. But you have to be able to... And to be happy.
With their life, yeah.
But you need to be able to understand why you've had yourself in that place of being very passive and feeling like the victim because you're self-sabotaging stuff, okay? And that you need to understand and learn more. Here's some of that. I want my kids to say I'm an amazing mum because even when they wanted to do something when they were younger, I told them no. And I was okay telling them no. And now they're older, they thank me for it. I want to raise my kids because I want my kids to understand the importance of being a well-adjusted adult. I want them to have good character. I want them to understand that they can reach for the stars. I want to be able to teach my kids that actually being honest and loving is being a respectable human being in life. I want to teach my kids, what are your values? That's what I'm asking you. You know, right now, you're not too sure about what those are. And if you're not too sure about what they are, then how can you set... That's how they're going to know, because how are you going to set that standard, okay? You know, it's really easy off the top of our heads to say, well, you know, we take them on holiday and we buy them a toy when it's there, you know, when we go to the shops and we went to the zoo and I got them balloons and I went this and I went that. All the stuff I'm talking about is the stuff that money doesn't cost. You know, you don't pay for that. You don't pay for that. Raising your kids...
Love and respect.
Being well-mannered and respectful. Their values, their values. You're going to need to ask yourself those questions. What kind of a mum am I going to be to my children? What kind of an example am I going to be to them? Because then you have to live up to that example. It means you've got to have that conversation with the children and be open with them and allow them to feel that they can say, Mum, I messed up today. Mum, I did this. It was wrong, but I did this. What should I do? If you don't know what those values are, then how can you set the standard for the children? And if you can't set the standards for the children, then you can't start putting it in place, which means that you won't feel confidence, which means that the kids won't go out, which means that they'll get bored and they'll start to play up. And that's exactly what you're seeing. Yeah. The impact of you not knowing right now the kind of mother you want to be to these children.
Be the best I can.
I mean, you know, they're lovely kids. I mean, they just want the opportunity to be taught, you know. They just want the opportunity for them to understand what the guidelines are. They just want the opportunity for you to be able to teach them what right and wrong is. They want the opportunity to, I mean, look at him, look, love him, look. You know, they just want the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, they are loving. They are loving kids, but it's when they choose to be loving. That's that's the problem she's got.
But that's down to yourself. Yeah. That's down to yourself. And it does start from you, okay? So you spoke about confidence. You spoke very little on wanting and really understanding what those values are. And what I would like to do for you is for you to leave here and see one of my team that will sit there and work with you about those values, okay? You heard me give you some examples, because until you're clear on that, then you can't move forward with the children. Because it's not about the materialistic things in their life. It's about the value that you play in their life and the mother that they need, because that will make you feel better. Is that something you will accept from me? Because I'd like to be able to give that to you.
Yes, I will, thank you.
You would?
Yeah.
We good with that? Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you.